have to end beef production. Does that mean we end eating steaks and hamburgers?
Well, there are people who are looking at how you feed the cows, or maybe you capture, the front or the back, and that is worth pursuing. There are people who don't like the animal cruelty, and so now this artificial meat type approach, they like that not just from a greenhouse gas point of view. So those approaches are going to compete with each other. A lot of Americans will be eating burgers, forever. And so we need a way of making that that's not a lot more expensive and not inferior. And so it's very similar to the electric car learning curve, a little bit of subsidy, a little bit of, consumers driving up the volume because they care about climate will get us to the point where I believe that green premium will also be zero, that you just won't be able to tell the difference.
You said rich nations should move to 100% synthetic beef.
Yeah, unless we can make the cow zero emission, which, I'm not sure we can, we do need to get rid of those emissions. And, it's not going to happen overnight. The scale up and the innovation still required there is quite large. But yes, zero is a very demanding number, and it doesn't allow you to say, well, all but, the 6% that comes from cows.
Mm-hmm. How do you address that? Because I can imagine people at home are saying, I'm not doing that. What he's talking about is crazy. I'm not doing that. We're not going to stop eating hamburgers. We're not going to stop. I work, I farm cattle. We're not going to stop doing that. I'm not going to change my way of life because of something that he's talking about is going to happen in 30 years. How do you address that?
Well, it's the same, for gasoline cars. The companies are seeing that they need to change. And it's phenomenal. GM, which is, created along with Ford, the global car industry, is now saying that, the gasoline engines days are numbered.
And Mary Barra and GM have also recognized that a younger consumer base is also going to want that product.
Exactly. This movement needs that generation to stay committed to this cause. Without that, we're not going to get there, because it does require ways to drive innovation, and it does in some cases require things being a bit more expensive as we get through this transition. And so this is going to be hard. It requires a lot of commitment. We can't go for 4 years and stop for 4 years, but the young generation, I think, will demand it.
Over 2.5 billion people have no access to safe sanitation. We asked brilliant engineers to help us solve this problem. And one of those engineers actually has proposed a solution where the waste is valuable.
The Omni processor turns sewer sludge, which is kind of nasty, into clean drinking water, electricity, and ash that is pathogen-free. This is where the sludge enters the machine. It goes up this conveyor belt, is fed into these large tubes we call the dryer. That's where we boil the sludge. And in the boiling process, we separate the water vapor from the solids. The solids are now dry, and we can feed them into the fire. Once we have this very hot fire, we can make high pressure, high temperature steam. And we take that steam and we send it to a steam engine. And the steam engine drives a generator that makes electricity that we use for the processor, and also excess electricity that can be delivered back to the community. The water vapor that's created in the boiling process is run through a cleaning system until we have the cleanest, purest water you can possibly imagine.
I am very impressed with this solution we're seeing here. It generates electricity, it generates clean water.
It will grow to every corner of the earth that needs it because it makes money every day.
It's water.
There's no way you could think about a happy future for Madagascar unless you come up with an alternative protein source. This is an alternative that makes sense at so many levels. How could I go to a local village and say, don't go in and eat the bushmeat there. Don't go in and cut down the trees unless you had an alternative. And then one day it just hit me. 70% of the people in Madagascar still to this day consume edible insects. So what if we took the best ones and figured out how to farm them at scale? We wanted not to bring an existing farmable insect. We wanted to find something native that people could relate to. And we found a species that, as a product, looked just like the one they ate. What we've taken is a tradition and figured out how to increase access to it. Globally, there's only like 3 species that are grown in terms of edible insect industry. There's thousands and thousands of potential species in Madagascar, and we want to take advantage of 300 million years of insect evolution so that we can offer solutions. Wherever you have poverty combined with malnutrition and biodiversity issues, this can be extended. It's coming even for the US. Our food systems, people realize now, it's a major source of greenhouse gases and the impacts of climate change and biodiversity. Those are the angles in which people will want to try edible insects. And once they try it, they'll keep coming back for it because it tastes really good.